frazzled for a couple reasons. First of all, in my church, we do not clap after performances.
Sorry.
I am a Christian, an Episcopalian, and I am licensed to lead worship in the Episcopal Diocese of Idaho, but I am not licensed to write sermons. So please don't think of this as a sermon. Please think of it as an impassioned book report. I do want to give a trigger warning during this book report. There's going to be mentions of abuse, mentions of racism, mentions of death. If you need to leave at any point, even now, I invite you to do so. I firmly believe that this is meant to be a time for quiet reflection, not a time to bring up old trauma. 2 years ago, I had the honor of participating in the Drag and Spirituality Summit in San Francisco. One of the first things that I did was indulge in what is called bibliomancy with a wonderful person named Scott Sessions. You could call this book magic. I was quick to draw a comparison to something I learned as a young Baptist. What you do is you open up the Bible to a page on a whim, and it is always exactly the thing that God is needing to tell you. So let's do it now. Let's see what God is telling us today. I have my KJV version here, and yes, Judges 4:21, that's right. Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent, and took an hammer in her hand, and went softly unto him, and smote the nail into his temples, and fastened it into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary. So he died. And I think we should all ponder that. Instead of using a Bible, Scott mixed it up by using queer works like Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. On that day, the poem I opened to was I Sing the Body Electric, which includes the lines, I have perceived that to be with those I like is enough. To stop in company with the rest at evening is enough. To be surrounded by beautiful, curious, breathing, laughing flesh is enough. At the time, I wrote that I believed that this passage was reminding me that listening and being around people is part of listening to the voice of God. Now, 2 years later, I import this ever-necessary imperative for connection, for joy, and to recognize that even though things are dire, being in community can be enough. And so I'm very grateful to be here with you for Book Communion. And as it is a service about banned books, I want to talk about some things I've learned from my favorite books, if not banned, then soon to be. I have a lot of them. I figured I should start this journey with a little bit of bibliomancy, so I began writing this report with some book magic in this book, subtitled Wisdom for Parents and Children from Mr. Rogers. This esteemed Presbyterian, not Episcopalian, Presbyterian, said, each of our life journeys is unique. No child will take the same journey as the parent, and no parent can determine what a child's journey will be. He also said, there's mystery in raising children. As your children grow and develop their unique talents, you can't control every aspect of their lives. This reminded me of a poem. This one by Khalil Gibran is from his book, The Prophet. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, but you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. There are many reasons someone might seek to ban a book. In Idaho, I think the most prevalent reason is this need to control children in order to mold them into an ideal. We can talk about the passage of HB 710 and the organizations ready to take advantage of this law another time. What is clear is that there are many in my religion that are trying to shape the world into their idealized space for their children. I think, given the opportunity, there are many who would strip agency wholly away from children and treat them like property. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. When something is your property, you act as its owner. You get to make all decisions concerning it. It cannot or should not have its own concerns, much less voice those thoughts. It cannot decide how it dresses, what to learn, or if it even has time of its own. My belief is that children are not an it. They are not property. I believe children are people. Among the many things that these banned books teach us, I want us to think about the lessons that children would be deprived of when we deprive them of these stories. Let's start with the book that got me interested in literature, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. We know that this book is about the institutionalized racism of the United States. This is a book that teaches us our past. Notably, the book's protagonist, Jem, is a little girl, a tomboy, who is free to run wherever she wishes. It features a scene in court. You're right. The character's name is Scout. I'm such a fool.
No, you're not.
This is another character. I feel like I need to leave the stage. Her name's Scout. She's a tomboy, and it features a scene in court where an abusive father, not hers, forces his daughter to blame his abuse on an innocent black man. I read this book for the first time in the 7th grade. It taught me our nation's past, but it also gave me and other children a model for their own agency and showed them that adults are not above hurting them. We should concern ourselves when some want to pretend that adults aren't to be questioned. I just finished this book a few weeks ago, Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. This is kind of the opposite of To Kill a Mockingbird in the sense that the protagonist, Jam, is a transgender girl who is living in an idealized society. She too is free to run where she wishes, but that is because the town she is living in truly believes it has rid itself of evil. Jam believes it too, until a hunter pops out of a painting and tells her that evil is lurking in her best friend's house. Jam tries to tell the adults in her life about this danger, but no one believes her. You're a child, her parents tell her. Come morning and all will be well. On its face, this story is about abuse and believing victims, but the narrative shows children that they can be the vehicle for change. It shows children that adults can be wrong and willingly ignore the dangers around us. We should concern ourselves when some want to normalize not listening to children who speak up for themselves or their friends. This book, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, has been placed on book list and banned lists since its publication in 2017. In it, protagonist Star witnesses her friend Khalil's murder at the hands of a police officer. If To Kill a Mockingbird was our past, this is our present. We in the room are no stranger to people of color being shot down by law enforcement. Just this past April, a 17-year-old Latino boy named Victor Perez was murdered by 3 police officers in my hometown of Pocatello. Victor was nonverbal, autistic, and had cerebral palsy. My community faced the fact that police shootings can happen everywhere and even to the innocent. This is not what the adults in power learned in The Hate You Give, nor is it what the adults in Pocatello learned either. Instead, in this book and in real life, adults turned off their empathy and thought only about it as a public relations issue. This results in Star being ignored and demonized even though she was right there and she saw it. Yes, this book is about police shootings, but it shows children that they have a voice, that they can be right, even when the entire society tells them that they should be quiet. We should concern ourselves when some want children to ignore the truth. I often say that the reason I do reading time is so that the children can see an adult cared enough about them to get up early, to paint a face, put on a silly outfit, sit with them, and read. So they have an opportunity to see a happy, healthy, alive, queer adult. So they know that they and their friends can grow up and be alive. I read banned books like this one, And Tango Makes Three, so that they know being gay is natural and good. I read books like When Aiden Became a Brother, so that kids know that they can advocate for themselves and their family members. Like Two Brooms on a Cake, so they can see two people that carved out a place for themselves in this country in spite of what the laws were. A church from my community hated this book so much that they crowded out the library room where we were gathered so that no kids could have it read to them. So guess what? I just read it to the church. Some adults do not want children to know that they have a voice, that they deserve to talk back, that they deserve to be themselves, that they deserve to grow up, that they are powerful. We should concern ourselves, and we should use that concern to protect these rights and freedoms for children in our state. Every time I talk about my work with Reading Time, I can't help but bring it back to Mr. Rogers. He always said to us, there's no person in the whole world that's exactly like you, and people can like you exactly as you are. This is a message that has been defunded in our country now. Sometimes as adults, we don't know how to impart that knowledge to our children. And of course, we don't need books to do that, but they can certainly help. Children find themselves in these stories. Children learn about people outside of themselves. Children learn about our past and can choose not to repeat our mistakes. Children can learn to be critical of what they read. Children learn to become people, or rather, they learn that they are a person and what they should do with that personhood. Their own people, with their own thoughts, with their own souls, with their own longings. Whether you practice bibliomancy or not, you cannot deny that there is magic in a book. So, read. And just so I'm bringing a balanced message to this book report, let's go back to the Bible. This is Matthew chapter 19 in the Message. But Jesus intervened. Let the children alone. Don't prevent them from coming to me. God's kingdom is made up of people like these. Gay men.